Hello and welcome to a new game we're playing here called Trophy Dark. I'm going to first start by reading the back of the book. This is not a game of brave adventurers slaying dragons and dragging gold back to town. This is a horror story of treasure hunters meeting tragic ends in a haunted forest that doesn't want them there. What fate does the forest hold for you? This is going to be a little darker than what we normally play. As such, there are some warnings to keep in mind. We'll be playing the Flocculent Cathedral, written by Jim Crocker. The theme is moss, and the warnings for this one are alcohol, body horror, drowning, insects and spiders, manipulation, and religion. If any of these are a problem for any listeners or viewers, please heed the warnings and just tap out on this one. For those that can stick around, I thank you very much. We will be playing through the entire thing. I'm hoping it will not take more than our usual allotted time. There's only going to be two of us playing this one. We are having Matt and Chess join. Thank you both for going on this new adventure with me.
Yep.
From here on, I will stay in the character of the story and refer to both of you as your character names. I ask that as best as you can to do your best to refer to each other in character and to always denote actions with I. If at any point there's ever a time that you are uncomfortable for any reason with what's going on, with something that's said or something that's come up, please feel free to play the X card. Just have to say X or X card, and we'll wind it back and change things. This is a game that needs to have a lot of safety for the players put in. As this is new for us, I don't know how dark or deep things will get. This is a very much more narrative driven than even I'm used to. And it's my first step into the horror. So, with that said, and if you two are ready, we will begin.
Yee.
Yep.
You both find yourself at the edge of the gloaming mire, a mangrove dense fen that is rumored to hold the Flocculent Cathedral. Within are the treasures that both of you seek. Just outside of the dense forest and swampy bog, you see two desiccated corpses sitting across from each other atop a flat rock. The rotted remains of a picnic lunch laid out between them. Each has a hand placed in the other's mouth, which is filled with a fistful of loamy soil. Which of you takes the first few steps into the forest?
I will.
Please describe yourself. It doesn't have to be anything super detailed. Just give a few quick details of what it is you look like.
I'm Foret, pronouns he, him. I don't know, I guess tall, probably in some kind of leather armor,
Mm-hmm.
black hair, short. No, probably a little buff.
Okay. As you take your first steps through the trees, and you already feel the wet, mossy water sink into your boots. Your footsteps are quickly followed by another. Laura, how did you come across Forit and join him on this adventure?
Uh, I think I was probably coming here anyway,
Mm-hmm.
and probably just saw him along the way and figured it might be good to travel with somebody for the time being.
Fair enough. You both know that going into the forest in this land is deadly, to say the least. Those that come out never come out the way they went in, if they even make it out at all. And yet, what you're seeking is worth the risk. What are a few key notes about what you look like, Laura?
Uh,
And your pronouns, please.
she, they for pronouns. Uh, I think I'm on the shorter side, like close to 5 foot, maybe like 5'2". Uh, I think medium length, messy black hair. Probably hasn't been washed in a bit. Uh, Maybe some strips of purple in there because I am incapable of making characters without some form of weird hair. Uh, uh, and then I think like probably like lots of layers of like kind of shabby looking clothing, uh, and maybe like a sword that is probably more club than sword at this point.
A sword is exactly what you need in this moment, as what little path there is overgrown with tall, heavy grass, vines, and the skittering of what you hope to be just harmless insects. As you continue going through the forest step by step, you start hearing a light bit of sound coming off from the distance. Laura, you hear the words coming over. Chained within this dank domain, your relics all that I retain, all your teachings I avow, I would be your trophy now. As you head further in, for it you hear, Saint who spilled their blood for me, lain in flocculent reverie, I seek your light upon my brow, I would be your trophy now. Voices in the distance. A party of some kind, celebration. You see the flickerings of a fire casting dark shadows along the path that you've managed to make your way. The ground has become more and more wet as you end up in a bit of a mangrove dense maze. The water twisting and turning in every way, though not flowing. What do you do as you head forward?
Ooh. Uh, I guess I'll try and use my sword to kind of cut some of the vines out of my way.
Okay. Are you trying to do this stealthily? You've heard voices around. Are you trying to just make a clear path to the fire? Are you trying to avoid it entirely? What?
Uh, Probably try to avoid it.
Try to avoid it? Okay. Um, so there is some difficulty to this as this has become, as I said, a maze. I don't know if you've ever seen a uh, maze in a mire. It is twisting and turning and very difficult to tell the way you need to go. And even in with a fire kind of giving you light, you can very easily get turned around. Do you have any skills that would help you in this endeavor of breaking through the forest and trying to stay away from the fire?
Um,
And you can make some pretty hard arguments. The words on your skills are pretty vague sometimes.
No kidding.
I would say probably either athletics or defense, because I'm trying to defend myself from the fire. If you want to be vague.
Sure. Then you get one light die.
Okay.
I don't think there is any current bodily harm in your way, so I will not ask for a dark die.
Okay.
Uh,
So I
for
just
it,
roll-
well, 1 second.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry.
For it, you are able to give a devil's bargain to give them another light die. Something that will complicate things but give better odds of success. The one that I would say is that even with the success, you will still, they'll hear you. If you wish to take that light die, knowing that they will hear you even on a success but have better chance of succeeding. And it's up to Laura if she would like to take that devil's bargain, and for it you can offer another devil's bargain.
I don't think I will do the devil's bargain right now.
Okay, so would you like to take that devil's bargain though, Laura?
And sorry,
It's that you get an extra light die, which will increase your odds of success, but no matter what, they will hear you, whoever's causing this singing. Not see you, not know where you are, but they'll know you're out here.
I think I won't do it at this time.
Okay, so you get one light die. You are looking for hopefully a 6.
Do I only succeed on a 6?
4 or 5 is succeed with complication.
Okay. That's a 1.
Okay, so that is a failure. You are allowed to re-roll. However, you will add a dark die. Or you take the failure.
Does what does adding the dark, like, what does
If
the dark
the
die
if
do?
the dark die ends up being your highest in the roll and is higher than your current ruin, your ruin goes up.
Okay.
And at 6 ruin you die.
Sure, I'll try again with the dark die.
Okay, so 1 light and 1 dark.
So that's 2 on the dark die and 3 on the light die.
So that's still a failure.
Oh, they don't, like, add together?
No.
Oh,
It is
I
whatever's the
didn't know
highest.
that.
However, because your light die was the highest, you can roll again and add another dark. If you want.
I think I'm just taking the failure at this
Okay.
point. Obviously, the sword that I described as a club is not good enough at cutting
Yeah.
vines, which makes sense. So,
So the complication that arises is that it takes time to saw through the areas that you can, and the club sword is not very good at getting you where you want to go, and you end up anyways getting trebled back to the fire. You break down some vines and you see before you a group of individuals which, based on the way they're dressed and the copious amounts of loot and armor and weaponry around, it is very clear to see that these are some sort of bandits. At a glance, they're filthy, but appear to be well fed. They have mismatched pieces of Kingsguard regalia and gear that they openly wear to indicate they are used to defying authority with a force of arms. What do each of you see about them that, despite being well fed, it is clear that living in the mire has taken its toll?
I'm sorry, I missed part of that because my Discord acted up.
Sure. Where did you end?
Right as Chess took the failure.
Okay. So you ended up getting towards the fire. Inside are clearly a group of bandits celebrating in some way. They're filthy, but well fed. They wear Kingsguard regalia and gear that they use to show force that they do not take well to authority. And I need to know what's something about them that makes it clear that living in this mire has taken its toll.
I'm afraid I don't quite understand the question.
What do you think would happen if you were living in a swamp for long enough that someone saw you and would say they've been living in a swamp?
Okay.
Just one small detail from each of you.
Very dirty?
Mm-hmm. And from Laura?
Fine. I think they'd probably what maybe sort of, I guess, agitated, like, because they've been living in an overgrown swamp and probably don't want to be here anymore.
Not just dirty, but it almost looks like some plants have started growing on them, on their skin or on their clothes. You can't quite tell. And the sudden intrusion has cut their song short as they look over towards the two of you. And you can't quite tell what it is that's in their eyes as they look upon you, but one eventually says, "Ah, new friends, come on in, join the fun. We have plenty food and drink if you feel the need."
I think are they armed, like, at the moment?
Yeah. They at least have swords or knives or clubs at their sides. One has
How
lifted up a tankard at you filled with some sort of liquid.
how long have we been walking for at this time, would you say?
You've been walking for at least an hour or so. At least an hour or so into the mire.
Okay.
You can tell they're eating probably what is a boar, roasting on a spit. People are just going up with knives and cutting off a chunk and walking away to join their companions in chit chat.
I think I would kind of try and walk, I guess, through their camp at this point. Uh, and I would just kind of be like, sorry, boys, not fancying stopping right now.
Can I use my skill of rituals to see if I recognize this as some kind of ritual?
Sure. Um, there's not really any danger in this. I think you can be looking at this. It doesn't look like there's any current ritual going on now. You do see what appears to be some sort of shrine at one end of the camp, but you can't quite tell who or what the shrine is to. Best as you can see, this does seem to just be a party.
Okay. So yeah, I will continue on with Laura and just pass through.
Okay. As you kind of try and get to the end, the group starts to block your way. Ah, come on, we insist, please, join us. One makes a slight motion to put their hand on their blade. At the very least, if you're not going to join in food and drink, at least pay some token to our shrine. You have a few options laid out before you. You could pay them off as they requested. You could fight them. Generally, in the forest, you would not want to fight monsters as, well, not high chance of survival in that, but people. People are just people. You could also wait them out. As you can see, despite the threat of violence and pay, they are drinking quite heavily and may eventually fall into a drunken slumber.
Uh, okay. I think I would sort of die and I guess uh sit down. Well, if merriment's being forced upon me, then.
At this, their smiles grow wide, and you can see that some teeth are missing or rotten. Not to any pain, but they are glad to have another join them. Do you take any food or drink?
I'll take it, but I won't consume it.
Okay. And for it, do you follow suit?
Uh, May I pretend to drink and toss it into the bushes?
Absolutely. The party goes on very, very long. Night eventually comes and falls. The fire stays warm, and even in a bog, the nights can be cold. You catch a look at that shrine, and you realize that it's been built on top of a well. Which of you goes towards it?
I will.
Okay. As you get nearby it, the smell is just overwhelming. You can smell damp mold rising from it, and it is barely holding together a small well, maybe just 3 feet wide, fit together in moss covered stones. You look into it, and you can't see the bottom, and it takes a moment for the light of the moon to catch it. The entire inside is lined with fat purple slugs just withering and crawling all over each other. For it, I would like you to make a ruin roll. Roll 1 dark die.
2.
2. That is not above your current ruin.
Nope.
So that means you are still good.
Yay!
You pull yourself back and head back to Laura. Any bit of appetite you had before is very quickly gone. And your eyes trail back, and every now and then you wonder if you see the purple slugs crawling out towards the camp. Eventually, though, all of the bandits do fall asleep. The fire is still raging, and you're free to move on.
Alright, let's go.
And they're still partying?
They've all fallen asleep now.
Okay.
You did notice at some point for it to go looking at the well, the shrine.
I have 2 things I want to do, but I'm
Okay.
debating between them.
What do you want to do?
One feels more dangerous and one feels more petty.
This is a game for dangerous and petty.
I'm gonna just roll a die to myself to pick between them.
Okay.
Okay. I want to destroy their shrine before we go.
Okay. All right. So what skill are you using?
Is it a shrine to, is it like a holy shrine, like to a god or something, or?
If it is, you don't know which, but it is a shrine.
Would corruption be a good skill for breaking a shrine?
I think so. So you're going to roll corruption. I do think there's a danger here, as there's a possibility of someone noticing and attacking. So you're going to take 1 dark die.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to offer a devil's bargain on this one right now.
Okay.
If Fort has a devil's bargain they'd like to offer.
No.
Okay. So 1 light and 1 dark.
Okay. Oh, that's good. 3 on the dark, 6 on the light.
Oh. You find the bits of loose stone needed and pull them out, and it very quickly crumbles down. And for a moment, you wonder if that was too much noise, and you look back and you just hear the light snores of all the bandits. Their shrine now toppled and destroyed.
Could I do one more thing before we leave?
Yeah, you can do
Or-
as much as you want.
Okay. Since Fort's waiting on me, uh, are they sleeping sort of like with their weapons on them, or like just kind of next to them?
Big weapons next to them, smaller weapons sheathed, but like daggers or knives sheathed, not as to hurt themselves, but be at a very quick grab if necessary.
Does one of them have a sword that looks in a better condition than mine, maybe?
Of course.
Can I swap them on my way out?
You certainly can. Do you have a skill that allows?
Uh, Surprise, because they'll wake up and have a shitty weapon?
Sure. There is the same danger as before, so 1 light, 1 dark.
Okay.
I offer you a devil's bargain.
Okay.
Whether you succeed or not, you're going to lose your club.
And that offers me an
An
extra
extra
die?
light, yeah.
And the light dies don't add together either, right? It's just highest die?
It's just highest die. But as you know, when you get advantage, that is an exponential increase in odds.
I think I'll take that bargain.
Okay. Roll me 2 light and 1 dark.
Ooh. The dark is 2, and the lights are 4 and 5 respectively.
Okay. So, you succeed, but a complication. The complication is that you manage to switch the weapons. You have a wonderful new sword. However, you will find in the future that it'll break after only a few hits.
Ooh. Okay. And do I know that?
You can tell it's better than what you were using. It'll do fine, but you can tell at a glance, well, not at a glance, at future inspection, that it won't last forever.
Okay. I'll look it for it. Now we can go.
You push through and get past the maze. And what lays before you is an even thicker bog. Brambles, stunted trees, marshy soil. And it isn't long before you hear buzzing and skittering. Thick swarms of insects rising from the waters, from the trees, as if from nowhere in the shadows. You can't see through them, and they are upon you in moments. They very quickly get in your eyes, your ears, your hair, even your mouth. You feel multi-legged centipedes, millipedes, and other writhe around your feet and wiggle into your boots. You very quickly lose sight of each other as you're berated by stings and biting.
Ugh. I guess I would just sort of keep kind of like trudging through it, slapping off as many insects as I can.
Okay. You push through, and every reprieve from them is very brief. You try to swat a bunch away, and within moments, there's more taking their place. You smack and kill as many as you can, but there's just far, far too many. You see off in the distance a small light that calls to you. Not like the fire of the bandits. This feels safe. How do you get there? I'm going to ask first Laura. Nope, sorry, Fort. Fort, how do you get to this light of safety?
Hello?
There we go. Hi.
Yeah, my mic wasn't working.
That's fun.
Yeah. Well, when you were asking what do you do, I was trying to ask
Okay.
for rituals.
Okay. Sure.
Do they raise ruin or
Rituals raise ruin. If like a regular risk roll, the black die ends up the highest and above your current ruin.
Okay.
So when you use a ritual, you automatically get a dark die.
Okay. Because I have statue, and I was thinking of statuing the bugs as I go through.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So if you want to do that, that would definitely help get both of you through. So for doing that, you get one dark die.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a relevant skill otherwise?
Dueling?
Not sure if in this case dueling will count.
Didn't you say you had a skill called rituals?
Yeah, I don't see how that one would help.
Well, you're using a
Yeah,
ritual.
you're using a ritual.
Oh!
The magic is called ritual.
Yeah, that's kind of broken.
You know, I was thinking two different kinds of like I thought the bottom ritual is just magic, and then the skill is like, oh, like I know about
doing
rituals.
a ritual.
I can perform rituals. And,
this is performing a ritual.
Okay,
yeah. Michael mentioned the skills are left very vague and interpretable on purpose. So
yeah.
So I'll allow that. Let's see. So you got one. You currently are at one light and one dark.
Mm-hmm. I suppose I will be using my rituals skill.
There is another thing now that we can do this. A help roll. When a player is making a risk roll that includes at least one dark die, which this is, another player may offer to help to improve their odds before or after the roll. You give them an extra light die to roll, but you expose yourself to whatever danger that they may get with their consequences. One other thing to take note is that if your light die matches any of their dark dice, you go up by 1 ruin.
Okay. Like you said that the bugs are so thick that I can't see him, right?
Yeah, it is very. You can't even see him at the moment, so I guess it would be tough for you to currently.
Yeah, I don't
help.
think I would help him because I don't know what he's doing. I'm just trying to get through these bugs.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll start with for it. So for it, you may roll 1 light and 1 dark.
Okay. Mm, 5 on the light, 6 on the dark.
Oh.
Ooh.
6 on the dark. So you succeed. You push through. You go up by 1 ruin. So you are now at 3 ruin.
Lovely.
Hey, 3-room club.
And here's the fun where I now get to roll.
There we go.
You turn all these bugs to stone. It's almost like, what's it look like when you cast this?
Well, it's touch a creature, so I'm just... I suppose I'm just waving my hands around.
So this is a very Midas touch thing. You focus
Yeah.
on turn to stone, and you touch each of the things as they come near you. Laura, you can hear the bloop, 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 as it sounds like little pebbles are falling into the water around you. For it, you manage to get through towards that light. And as you get your bearings, your current condition, which you can mark on your conditions, all color washes out and everything is in the hue of a dull green. Anything that already looked green now looks as if it's glowing.
Gross.
So, like, I can only see green, or...
Everything, sepia?
Yeah?
Imagine if sepia instead of the orange was green.
So I just have green vision.
Yeah.
Kind of like night vision, like on the night vision, like
Yeah,
everything's
but
green.
not bright. It's dull. It's dirty.
Okay.
Dull green vision.
Yeah. But you managed to get to safety. There are no bugs around you. Laura, how are you getting through?
Are the rituals, are they like one use?
No, you can use them as much as you want.
Okay.
I suppose that was another part of my question.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure these weren't like one time.
No. The cost of giving yourself an extra ruin for each one would mean very bad things if it was just a one-time use.
Yeah. Like I gave myself 2 extra ruin and I've just got like 1 use Hail Marys. In that case, I think Laura, or sorry, me, hello. I think I would. I'm getting fed up with these bugs.
Mm.
So I think I whistle. And I go, here, boy. And I summon a spectral bowl to ram through these bugs for me to clear me a path.
Okay. So you cast your ritual. You get 1 dark die. Do you have any light die? Do you have any skills that will help in this endeavor?
But I argue defense
Yes.
against the bugs.
You can absolutely argue defense against the bugs. So you currently have 1 light and 1 dark die.
Okay.
I offer the devil's bargain that you get one more light die. However, your bull will knock down for it.
Ooh. I can't see him still, right?
Correct.
Like, he didn't clear my vision enough by having a stone party.
Nope.
I think I'll take that bargain then.
Okay. 2 light die, 1 dark.
Ooh, that's unfortunate. 5 on the dark, 4 on both the lights.
Ooh. Okay, so your ruin goes up by 1.
I think I'm at the fun number now.
No, you're at 4. Fun number's 5.
I thought 4 is the fun number. Okay.
I like this. Okay, so you call the bull, and the spectral form forms quickly around you, running up around your body, and then charges forward and quickly grows. You follow close behind for it. You can't hear anything still over those bugs that are a bit of a ways away, and you're getting your bearings on this side, getting used to how everything now is a shade of green. Suddenly, you are knocked hard to the ground as a bull tramples over and across and out of your sight. You don't take any sort of damage mechanically. But God, that hurt. Quickly after, you see Laura pull up behind you. And as they breathe, it's like it's cold all of a sudden, in that you can see their breath, but it's glowing. Laura, your condition is that a visible cloud of jade color spores spew out of your mouth whenever you exhale.
Gross. Okay. Sorry about that. Xiaomi's a bit unwieldy.
It's all right.
You find yourselves at another shrine, though it doesn't look as grotesque or makeshift as the last. This is an actual shrine meant for worship, but not just any worship. This is a shrine that you yourself would worship at. There are 3 statues, 3 sisters, each sisters of the Flocculent Cathedral. Depicted are the saints of your own current occupation. Laura, would you tell me what the saint of your occupation looks like?
Sure. What would the saint of a sellsword look like? Okay. They're probably depicted in sort of piecemeal armor with like a tattered cloak, a large sword with a very ornamental handle, their hair done up tight in a top knot, and an eye patch because I think it's cool.
Okay. And for it, what does the saint of your occupation look like?
Meh.
She's a sheep?
Well, my occupation is lamb.
Your saint is just a fluffy, fluffy sheep, forever depicted in a loud baa. You see other lights off in the distance of more shrines, and you can see that the bugs stay clear of them. And you're very easily able to push and run from one to the other before the bugs become too much to deal with.
As we're pushing, I think I'd be like, "What? Was that just a sheep?"
Yes. Yes, it was.
Right. Okay.
The sound of the buzzing insects is quickly drowned out by the cacophony of a thunderous waterfall. The water is tinted green. For you, for it, it's glowing. But it is safe here. You take a moment to get your bearings. You test the water a bit as you realize that bugs got into your water skins. Do you drink from this water?
It's green?
It's green, but it's flowing. Unlike the rest of the mire, this water is free flowing from the waterfall above and off into the bogs.
Well, everything looks green to me.
Correct.
I don't think I would drink from it.
Okay.
Maybe I would dump out my bug water and replace it in case of a water emergency later. But
Okay. Yeah, you clean out your bug-filled water skin as best you can. They quickly buzz off back into the swampy bog. They seem to not really like this water at all. Fort, do you drink from the water?
Yes.
Okay. You drink the water. It tastes like eating a fistful of grass. But other than that, it seems perfectly fine. You don't feel sick or woozy, and it is quite refreshing. You see deep down in the pool what look like sickly albino crawfish skittering about their time. But otherwise, this is good water. You find yourself compelled to splash it up onto your face to clean off all that grime, and you realize that, man, it's been so long now since you last had a nice bath. And you just feel nicely rejuvenated.
I'm going to regret this later, probably.
No, you don't take a condition or anything. Just...
Well, I did say now. I said later.
Nearby, away from the bog on the other side of this waterfall, you see a narrow band of stone outcrops that give you a good view of the woods ahead, as well as the area you left behind. You're not sure how long you've been walking for, but you realize looking back you can't see the beginning of the forest. The mire seems to go on forever. And you realize just how tired you are from this journey. And looking at the dense woods ahead and the mire in the back, this feels like the better place to take a nice sleep. As you're setting up camp, Laura, you start sweating. And it's probably just the humidity. You wipe your brow, and sweat immediately takes hold again. Your body feels heavy, and you start shaking a bit. For it, you do as well. You fall into a deep ill and fever. You throw up whatever food you had earlier that day, and you throw up again more. You try to pull yourself to the water to try and clean up and get a little bit of drink into you, but you can't find the strength, and you fall into a deep slumber. The dreams are terrible, and it's not a good sleep. You feel and see yourself drowning and disintegrating over and over and over, and then falling deeper into the water where giant mandibles and stingers bite and claw at you. The bugs haunting you ever still, even in this slight bit of reprieve. When you awake, you don't know how much time has passed. You feel better now, though clearly whatever those bugs did to you has left some sort of scar. Which one of you manages to get up first?
Me.
Laura, you stand up, you get your bearings, and are a little woozy. You look down at Forit, and he now looks different. Something about the bugs has grown onto Forit.
Oh boy.
What is it?
Uh, Something about the bugs.
Does he have little wings growing? Does he have a horn? Some pincers coming out of his mouth?
I think he's got little baby pincers on either side of his mouth. Little tiny ones.
You get a sense of dread from this. What about these pincers makes you feel like your success in this journey will be threatened by them?
The idea of my kind of companion turning into a weird bug monster.
Okay. For it, you manage to get yourself up. And when you look to Laura with her glowing green breath, you see something about the bugs has grown onto her. What do you see?
Little antennae coming out of the top of her head.
How is this going to threaten your success if you don't keep it in check?
Thinking. threaten my success if it's I really don't know.
I've got one. You come to the realization that they could possibly attract more bugs as you go further in and cause another swarm. If they grow more, it could get worse for you. Just something to think about.
Okay.
You pack your things up, and as you're going through your bags, you discover that there's one more item than you remember packing. There is a physical token from either a friend or a loved one that reminds you of why you've come here. What is it that you've brought, and what's the memory it invokes?
Me?
Both of you.
Both of us.
Oh, I thought it was just for him. Sorry. Memory of a loved one. I think it's probably an old, very old, rusty, chipped farming tool, like a little shovel, one of those little tiny ones.
And what's a memory of it?
Oh. My mother, when I was young, teaching me all about farming and gardening, digging up like weeds and planting the crops with her.
Okay. And for you, for it, what do you find in your pack?
A ribbon of a former lover.
Ooh.
And the memory it invokes is of a good time just being with each other when it was calm.
With this token, you feel yourself rejuvenated. You know why you've come here, and you're getting closer. You're sure of it. You just have to keep pushing through. You pack up. For it, you eye those antennae. Laura, you eye those pincers. They have to be watched. They could ruin everything. But you still need them for now. You know you can't get through this next part alone. You step down from the rocks, head back down into the forest. It doesn't take long to find another marsh. Standing inside, you at first think are people, unmoving. As you get closer, you can tell that they are merely practice dummies, standing ankle deep in the bog. All of them impaled with weaponry, swords, arrows, axes. They've been here a long time, already beginning to rot. However, from the wounds, dark red moss grows. Sprouts coming up out in spores, gently around, like gaping wounds festering and growing. With that, we're going to give ourselves a little break. We have officially passed the halfway point of this story. Let everyone give a little stretch, get some water, and we'll return in a few moments. And so, the two of you continue on. You have managed to somewhat leave the marshy bogs. It's still all around. This entire thing is a mire. You come across gnarled cypress trees, moss hanging from all branches, an assortment of colors. Once again, vision is obscured, though not as bad as with the bugs. You can tell it'll be easy to get separated should you stray too far from one another. And there are thick roots under your foot. Which of you sees what's coming first?
Me, I guess.
Okay. You don't hear it, but you feel it. The ground shakes as a colossal jade deer stag juts through the trees and rushes towards you. You can see a rack of razor-sharp antlers overgrown with the moss and lichen, its nostrils spewing clouds of spores.
Oh, I definitely see that since it's green.
It is glowing for you for it, but you were looking the other way. What do you do? To note, this would be considered a monster. It is 15 feet high at its shoulder.
And it's coming at us?
It is charging at you silently. It makes no noise, but you can feel the ground shake from its hooves.
Do you feel a slight rumbling?
And do I see it?
Yep, you see it.
And sorry, what's around us at the moment?
Trees and hanging moss.
Is there a particularly thick tree?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I know what I want. Okay. So I want to go up to one of the thick trees, and with my finger I want to trace a door onto it.
Okay.
I want to use my ritual door.
Mm-hmm.
Like almost like I think it's like the third episode of the original Digimon Adventure where they hide from the enemy Digimon inside of a tree.
That's the first
That's
episode.
the first episode.
Oh, it's the first episode. Yeah, I'm trying to do that basically.
Okay.
Because this thing's like 15 feet tall, so I'm opening a door big enough for
Just
for
you
me,
two.
and then for it might have to duck because he's like 6 inches taller than me. But
Okay. All right.
They introduce hiding trees and never use them again.
That was just one special tree. So, you're doing a ritual.
yes,
You get one dark die. Do you have a relevant skill?
I would say either defense or just defense, I guess,
Okay.
because I'm using this tree to protect me from the deer.
Okay. So that is a light die and a dark die. Devil's Bargain.
Okay.
You get another light die, but the deer knows where you are.
Ooh.
You won't be injured, but you will have to still deal with it.
Ooh. I don't. Ooh. I trust myself. I can do this. I don't need it.
Okay. One light, one dark. Let's go.
Okay. Oh! That's amazing, but also awful for me. They're both 6s.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Laura. This is the forest. It doesn't want you here. The dark die is the winner. You succeed. You open this door. You get through. You're inside and you feel the hooves further and further away. The vibrations continue throughout you. You hold you hold Fort down under yourself, crowding within this tree. And the vibrations continue, and you feel pain shoot through your body. Your feet slowly curl and harden into cloven, moss-covered hooves. Your boots cause searing pain, and you force yourself out of the door and rip them off to get some sense of relief.
Look.
Well, that could be slightly problematic.
At least I'll save money on shoes. Do I get a ruin for that?
Yep, you are now at 5 ruin.
Oh, the fun number!
You're at the fun number.
I don't remember why it's the fun number, but I just know it's the fun number.
So
it's 1 from death.
it is 1 from death, but it is also 1 to get you a chance to get lower ruin. So you may now reduce your ruin, by acting in the forest's interest. Destroying treasure, preventing the use of rituals, sabotaging your fellow treasure hunters' exit from the forest. However you want, you can now sabotage for it to bring yourself down ruin.
Okay. So, like, instead of help, if he tries to do something, I could, like, anti-help?
Yep.
Hinder? Okay. Cool.
When you do so, you roll 1 light die. If you roll less than your current ruin, so a 1 to 4, your ruin goes down by 1. If you roll higher than or equal, you can decide whether or not to remove 1 ruin. If you do, Fort will notice the betrayal.
Okay. If I roll and I go below 5, does that take away my ability to sabotage because I'm not at 5 anymore?
Nope. You can keep going down until you get to your starting number of 3.
Okay. A fun number.
You can never go below the amount you start the game with.
Okay. That's cool.
So to note, from here on, you can choose to sabotage.
Yeah.
Sabotage.
But you are free from the Jade Stag.
You know, I've never learned how it hollows the object out. Questions for later.
I was going to say, less questions, the better.
Let's keep going before that thing comes back.
You walk and walk. For it, you hear the squelch of your shoes in the wet terrain. For you, Laura, your hooves now making a hollow thunk. I don't know if you're able to pick that up.
I did, surprisingly.
Okay,
I didn't
good.
think I would.
That hurt.
Oh, no.
That was glass. Time seems to stretch. The sun is setting already, despite it feeling like you only walked for 10 minutes since camp. Maybe you stayed in that tree longer than you thought. Perhaps that stag was running around for hours. You don't know. The shadows are long, causing the dark moss to feel even that much more gross and thick, like it's reaching out towards you. Then you hear it again, that crackle of fire. You turn a bend and you see another fire, much like the bandits had at the beginning. But there's only
fire around here.
There's only 2 people sitting around it, bloated, water clearly having soaked into their skin long ago. The fire trickles out, and these 2 people act as if they're talking, passing drink back and forward, but there's nothing in their hands. One throws their head back in laughter that is soundless, the top of their head nearly falling off their jaw.
Oh. Can I just walk past them?
You can. This will be a risk roll. Because if you fail, they will hear and they will turn. And they will come after you. You know this. Do you have a skill?
Oh God. Knew I should have took that walking class in high school. I don't think I can argue any of them. Unless I wanted to be really like bottom of the barrel with athletics. Walking's athletics, right?
It is. Sneaking is
shit.
athletics.
I guess athletics then?
Okay. You get 1 light die.
Okay.
I don't think you get a dark die yet.
Hey.
I think the dark die will come if you fail this.
Okay. Let's try for it. Let's go walking.
I mean, try character for it, or try for it as in go for it?
Go for it. That is a fail. I got a 3.
You can re-roll, but add a dark.
Screw it. Sure.
Or, well, you do have to do that. Actually, wait. Before you do that,
Hey.
For it, you can add a light die to this. But if it is a failure, you will have to take the consequences as well.
Sure, why not?
Okay, roll 1 light die. This will count as one of the light die that Laura just rolled.
Oh, me?
Yep.
Okay. 2.
Okay. Unfortunately, a failure still. Do you take the failure, Laura, or do you re-roll?
I will reroll. And
Okay.
I have to add a dark, right?
Yep. But you do still get the help. So it is now 2 light, 1 dark.
Oh, that is unfortunate for me. So 4 and a 5 on the light. And we don't need to talk about the dark, right? Like,
Is it a 6?
it may be a 6. Hey, my D6s are hot tonight. I don't like it.
Okay. So a success. You both manage to sneak past. Because there's only 2 of you, for a while now, Laura, you will continue, but your fate is sealed.
Okay. I don't go up to 6?
No, you do go up to 6, but we're going to
Okay.
find the best time for you to go.
Oh shit! It turns black when you when you go up to 6. Okay.
You
Wait,
sneak
what
by.
are you doing? Because I'm just adding lines on my PDF.
I'm adding the check mark, so when you add the last one, it turns the whole box black.
Yeah,
Huh.
they went with the Excel document.
Oh.
Yeah. So, as you get past, you can see it. Visible through the trees are glints of silver and jade. You can hear hymns in the voice of the fen. The cathedral, a natural grove of massive, tightly packed trees, utterly overgrown with thick layers of moss and lichen many feet thick. They encrust the tiny gaps between the boughs, but you can just make out the smooth altar of iron, the delicately wrought silver candelabra, the intricate statues that make up the saints, one with an eye patch, one a lamb. And on the altar, a heavy tome. For it, it is glowing bright green.
Okay, real fast. Because I did the help and I said I'd take the consequence, do I also go up a ruin?
You don't, because the consequence was if there was a failure.
Okay.
However, as you're looking at this, you can't see an entrance. All you see is a bell tower and a pond.
And there's no entrance to the bell tower?
The bell tower is up above. You can see the bell. You could climb.
And I use ritual, knock on the bell tower and go open sesame.
What's the wording for the ritual?
Well, no, skill rituals. I was saying.
Oh.
Oh!
Fair. In this case, no. That's not going to work. Like
That was
yeah.
mostly a joke anyway.
Okay, fair enough. You do both know that bell towers need a way to access them, so there would be a way into the cathedral from above.
Okay.
The only thing you have to go on is that pool and the bell tower.
Well, I guess we're climbing.
Didn't you say there was a tome on the altar?
You can see it through the
Oh.
trees, but it's
Okay.
the trees are too thick to squeeze through.
So we're outside of where the altar is. Can't get through, and there's a bell tower next to this like wall of trees.
Yeah. Or a pond. A pond nearby. Laura, you begin to climb.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm gonna try climbing.
Currently, your fate has been sealed. You climb up. Do you want your fate to end here, or do you want to push forward?
I think forward a little bit.
Okay. For it, do you climb up with Laura?
I guess so.
Okay. I'll need you to make a risk roll. Do you have any sort of skill that will tie to this?
No.
Okay. A devil's bargain, or do you want to use a ritual?
My only ritual is the statue, and I don't think that's really going to help.
Hmm.
I assume it's already stone.
It's all tree, so stone doesn't really help here.
No.
So instead, your devil's bargain to get a light die is you're going to climb to the top. However, when you get to the top, you're going to fall. You're going to fall into the cathedral.
I was going to say, that doesn't seem to really help anything. But, alright, sure.
I am going to need you to add a dark die as well, because this is a dangerous task.
So it's what, 1 light, 2 dark?
1 light, 1 dark.
1 light, 1 dark, okay. Light 2, dark 4.
Dark 4. You succeed with a complication, and you go up 1 ruin. Okay. Ooh. So you both climb to the top. The complication, as we said, you were going to fall into the cathedral. That happens. You get to the top, and beneath the bell tower, the bell, is a thatch of moss, packed leaves, and branches. You take a step down, and you fall. As you fall, you get tangled in vines. You are stuck, hanging, just feet above the ground. You feel pain as slime on the vines seeps into you. Laura, you manage to climb back down on the inside. For your new condition, your teeth fall out 1 by 1, and thick, fibrous morals grow to replace them.
Morals?
Yeah. I'll get you a picture of one. I don't like them. They give me the squickies. They're kind of mushroom.
Hello, triphobia.
Yeah.
Trypophobia, however you say that.
Yeah. I'm going to get rid of that now. Trypophobia. That's your teeth now. Still good enough to use.
Squishy. Um. I'm tangled up in the vine, so turning them to stone is not going to help me.
Laura, you see for it swaying there, but your eyes look right past him.
A little help, please.
Above the altar, you see your patron saint, the tattered cloak, piecemeal armor, their large sword with ornamental handle. She is beautiful. She is bright and glowing. But even more than that, what about her makes her even more sublime than you ever thought?
Oh. Her. Oh. Uh, what makes her? I don't know. Oh. Could you rephrase the question?
What makes her even more beautiful? She is a saint. She glows. She is the path of the true religion. That lamb, and you see the lamb. It is dark. It is rotting. For it's been following a false god. You've been following the right one.
I think for the imperfections in her armor and her clothes, her physical form has none. Her hair is silky and smooth, despite her occupation, and she does have an eye patch. It's like gilded and beautiful.
For it, you manage to pull yourself out of the vines. Laura's walked past you. She is of no help here. And you've almost reached your destination. Looking towards the altar, you see what Laura is grabbing towards, a being of darkness, skeletal, broken, tattered weaponry all around. And your lamb, your sheep, the true saint, with beautiful angelic wings dancing around, is trying to drive it away. You're both given visions. What you're looking for is here. It's just within reach. It's beneath this very altar. All you need is to give one thing, and it's so simple. All it needs is blood. Lots and lots of blood. Laura, You have fallen to ruin. You understand what this means. You pull out that sword you had that you stole however long ago, and you turn it upon yourself and plunge it deep in your chest. Blood spills and pools out below. You pull it out and stab again, and again, and again, and again. And it's never enough. You always need more. You are unable to die. Your body, cloven hooved, spores spewing out of your mouth, are stuck here. The cathedral takes you over. You fall into its roots, bleeding forever. For it. The altar needs blood, and now there is a lot. What do you do?
Is there already enough blood to achieve what was needed, or does it need more?
No, there is plenty of blood here, but it's just not where it needs to be.
I reposition Laura to start bleeding where it needs to be.
Okay. You pull Laura out of the tangled mess of the cathedral, dragging her body. She is still bleeding. You still see the light in her eyes, undying. The forest has taken much from her, and it's taken much from you, but you will not end your journey here. There's no way out of this cathedral except up the acidic vines you fell down in. You drag her body onto the altar, and the blood pools and spills and fills out rings upon the table, and you hear a chunk as the altar descends, and you go down deep. Above you, you see your lamb praising you for having come this far. In your eyes, Laura, you see that decaying sheep laughing at you, laughing at for it. You do not know, but it laughs and laughs. When the altar reaches the bottom, you see what you came for. What is the item you would come here for it?
How do I wheel this into my drive? It is a sacred holy symbol that I need to use to drive out the evil that is infecting Trollis? However you say it? Tralis, yes.
Yeah. You grab the symbol. It's ram's horns. You grab it and you affix it to your clothing, and you feel a relief. I want you to make one more ruin roll. One dark die.
2.
You're unchanged. and you're going to begin the journey back. You pull Laura's body off the altar, and it rises up. You are down a companion, but you are sure that you can make it back on your own. You have the lamb at your side, and it'll always be there to protect you. And with that, we close the pages on the Flocculent Cathedral. So, Chess, Matt, how you doing?
Well, I kept waiting for a good opportunity to use sacrifice skill.
Yeah, I feel like that would have come up really good in the end if if the dice hadn't been so mean to Chess to begin with.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say when I was repositioning Laura's body, like, I'm making a sacrifice with that.
Yeah. How are you
Or I
doing?
was going to sacrifice myself at the Jade Deer by standing my ground.
Yeah, I was curious on when sacrifice was going to come into play. How are you doing, Chess?
Good.
Did you enjoy that story?
Yeah.
As a part of the calm down, we get to do a little bit of an epilogue. Obviously, Chess, Laura's fate is dire. Dying, not dying. What do you think is going to be in the future for her?
Well, I think she's not allowed to die.
Mm-hmm.
I think even as she runs out of blood, the forest keeps her animated in the same stabbing motion as a warning for those who would come seeking treasure.
Mm-hmm. And Matt, what do you think is in the future for Foret? Does he get back home? Does he die along the way?
He gets back home. He uses the symbol to free the city.
Okay.
But he kind of lives more as an outcast just because of his horrible fungus teeth.
Yeah, the horrible fungus teeth, the little pincers coming out of his mouth, and you never manage to lose that green tinge in your vision.
I mean, you can still see, so that's something.
Yeah, but everything always looks green and glowing if it already was.
I'm green, da boo.
I had a lot of fun with this. I'm gonna have to send you guys a picture because it actually has a art of the green stag in the book.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that was the first incursion in the book. There are many, many more. Let me double check. There's another 21.
Damn.
Once again, this was the Flocculent Cathedral, written by Jim Crocker for Trophy Dark. If you enjoyed this, why not subscribe to this channel? We might be doing more, or liking the YouTube video VOD. I hope we do more of this. I think this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing more of it.
There's a lot of really neat ones that I can see here. One that really stands out to me that I'd really like to see what it means is Tomb of 10,000 Dreams. Yeah, that's it from us. I hope you all enjoyed. We'll see you guys in the next game.
See you next game.